Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. The 21-22 PGA Tour season is in the books. Rory McIlroy with an incredible comeback. 6 shots back of world number 1 Scottie Scheffler claims his 3rd FedEx Cup title. Sleaze, we've talked a lot about this format of the FedEx Cup at the Tour Championship, how we like it, how we don't like it. It looked like it was going to be a snooze fest on Sunday. 6-shot lead for world number 1. Boy, was it not, though. It was extremely exciting coming down the stretch.
That was like the dream situation for the PGA Tour. Because like you said, 6-shot lead, the way Scottie finished that 3rd round, the birdies, I was like, dude, this thing, a couple birdies early from Scottie, if he just stays on that form, this thing's done. And maybe Rory presses the envelope a little bit, tries to make something happen, makes a bogey or two. Like, this could be a 8-10 shot snooze fest. And it happened quick, too. That thing all of a sudden became a ball game. And then you got 2 of the best in the world. I think if you could script this thing for the PGA Tour going in the week, like, who do you want battling in this thing? I'll take Scottie, the guy who's been the best all year, and I'll take Rory, who's for sure the most outspoken guy, proponent of the PGA Tour with all that's going on with LIV right now. Have those 2 guys battling down the stretch, and shit if you didn't get that. I mean, it ended up being a home run. Could have been really bad, and now I think like they're going to look at the format and be like, see, told you it works. We got 2 of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Battling.
I agree. I mean, it had to happen perfectly for Rory to play a really good round of golf and Scottie to play really poorly, but he brought a lot of guys back into the mix. Sung J.M. was right there. It looked like for a little bit, if Justin Thomas got hot, he could make a run. Max Homa, same kind of thing. But Rory did it with his putter on Sunday. It was special to watch the 30-footer on 15 for birdie. The incredible up and down after the great break on 16. Made a lot of key 6 to 8 footers for par that really kept him in it. He got it done in a much different way, I thought. But to win your 3rd title, $18 million. Hello, friends.
That's what he needs. Finally, he can breathe easy. Rory, no more financial stress for Rory. But yeah, like going back to the Open Championship, what did he do? 2-putted every hole, made no putts, 0 putts over 10 feet. People are like, you got to do something. You got to make something happen on the greens. He did it yesterday. He had 4 putts over 10 feet, including that big one you said on the par 3 late. But he also made a lot of like key par saves, the up and down that you mentioned. Like it wasn't just 10 feet and beyond. He made 4 of those, but there was a lot of like 6-8 footers, and it ended up being, I mean, it had to happen exactly that way. Rory had to go out and put a number up, and yes, you had to have Scottie not on his game, because Scottie goes and shoots 2 under. I mean, damn, it ain't happening. It's going to be hit.
He shoots even par, it's over.
Even is done most likely. I mean, if you give Rory a crazy day of like a 62, it's like, all right, something's going to have to happen, and they got it. So after all that, it worked out perfectly. Do you like the format? Would you tweak it? Because I'm still anti-handicap.
I'm just, it bothers me when people bitch about it, but they don't have a solution. Like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, okay, well, then what's better? Because right now we can't figure out something that everyone's happy with. I don't think you're ever going to find something where everyone is happy. You know, I've said, I told you today on our SiriusXM show, I kind of like the idea with it now being 70 guys to start the playoffs.
Yeah, it's tight now.
Yeah, so they're going 70, 50, 30. Let's go 70, 50, top 10 only. Get into East Lake. You throw all that money out there. 10th place is $1 million. First place is $18 million, and you all start at 0. You got the top 10 guys for the whole season going to East Lake. We're going to tee it up, $18 million for the winner. I don't care if you're in 1st or 10th going into East Lake.
That's what I want at East Lake. It's like, all right, you're going to reward your Scotties for the year that they had, right? He's the number 1 seed. He had by far and away the best season out there. Well, your reward is like you get to East Lake really without doing anything. You get to the finals. You're getting multiple buys. Best team in football, they get buys in the playoffs, but then they got to go and play. I just want to see at East Lake, whether it's you got a name that's not the biggest name in golf coming down the stretch winning the thing, or it is the Rorys and the Scotties coming down the stretch. Like, dude, it's hard to get there. And the guys at the top that had the monster years, they're going to be there no matter what. They booked their ticket to East Lake. Cool. Now let's play a real golf tournament. These are the 30 best. It's hard as shit to get to East Lake. It's everyone's goal at the beginning of the year. And you hype this tournament up all year, like the race to East Lake, the race to East Lake. All right, well, now we're here. Let's make it so more than half the field has a chance to win it. I would just like to see it be a straight-up event because if we're being honest, like if LIV, which we've criticized a lot of their stuff, 54 holes, shotgun, like this is Mickey Mouse. This is rinky-dink. This isn't real golf. And then you throw your premier event at the end of the year and it's handicap. It's like you could make that same argument for that. I just want to see everyone have a chance.
See, that's where I disagree with you. Like, the LIV thing gets criticized because that's how every single tournament is. This is one tournament. They're trying to figure out the season-long's best, and that's why I think if you narrowed it down to 10 guys, maybe 12 guys, I don't know. I think, and they all battle it out from 0. You really didn't tell me if you like that idea or not.
I wouldn't mind a shorter field at East Lake and everybody starts at 0. It'd be a shorter coverage. It'd be all the best players. It's hard as shit to get there. You mentioned on a radio show, like, all right, starting at 70 next year, after the first cut, make it 30. And all those 30 guys get all the rewards that these guys get for getting to East Lake,
you
the
get top 30,
exemptions and the majors and all the stuff. But then for the final, we shrink it down even more. Like, dude, this is the creme de la creme. These are the guys. And it's shorter, and everyone starts at 0. I don't really care necessarily what the number is. I like it to be small, 30, maybe, right? Maybe it's smaller than that. But just everybody start at the same. No, oh, I'm 8 shots back before I tee up on Monday or on Thursday. It's like you're going to do some things a little bit different, I think, if you're trying to press, and it's like all the stars have to align for you to have a shot. It's like these are your best guys. This is your biggest event. You touted all year. Let's give everyone in the field that earned their way there a chance to win the thing. Well, that'd be my take.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like I said, I think they're going to continue to tinker with it. But I'm with you. I think you got to stick to stroke play. I think the match play gets a little dicey. But either way, Rory McIlroy is your FedEx Cup champion. His 3rd title. No one has ever won more than 2. So congrats to Rory McIlroy. And I know, Sleaze, you had a hell of a weekend. You were up in the Hamptons sipping on your Doers. And if you're in the trap, you're going to want a sand wedge. If you're shooting uphill from the cabbage, you're going to want a pitching wedge. If you're looking for the perfect cocktail for the 19th hole or watching golf on TV, you're going to want a Dewar's Lemon Wedge. It's a light, refreshing, totally seasonable cocktail made with Dewar's 12-year-old lemonade and club soda, then garnished with a lemon wedge. If you really want to make it authentic, stick a golf tee through the lemon before dropping it in the glass. A clean tee, please. Find the recipe at Dewar's.com. Make a batch for your buddies or just enjoy one yourself. Either way, you'll be sipping on the cocktail made for golf, the Dewar's Lemon Wedge. From Dewar's, the most awarded blended Scotch whiskey in history. Enjoy responsibly. And it's now time for the Dewar's Cheers moment of the week. Sleaze, take it away.
I enjoyed maybe somewhat irresponsibly this week. I'm going to be the first to own up to it. Okay. But just had the trip. You mentioned had a little birthday party for Billy Swancutt up in the Hamptons. Had a great lineup of golf courses. We played Garden City. We played Southampton. We played Friars Head, and we played Laurel Links. It was awesome. The golf was spectacular. Billy Kreitzik, shout out to you. You know Billy Boy, the legend. They do not get any better than Billy. He was shotgunning beers on virtually every hole. We had a blast. This is my doers moment of the week. I'm going to make it just like the funniest moment of the week, right? So we would go out to dinner one night, and it's like this is the night we're going to really go. Have a great dinner. It's overlooking the water, all the bougie stuff you do in the Hamptons, right? So we get done.
Pinky up?
Yeah, pinky up the whole time. Sweater around the neck. No, I didn't have that, but that was definitely the play. So we get done, like, we don't want to leave, dude. We're just getting into it. So we go hang out by the bar for a while, right? All the fellas are drinking, ladies are there, all different stuff. We're having a good time. There's these 2 chairs that are right next to a fireplace. Fireplace isn't on because it's nice out, but there's been people sitting in these chairs the whole time. It's a great spot. Finally, these 2 people get up, chairs empty out. Well, immediately my wife goes on a beeline down there. She's going to rest those tutters quick, right? Let the pause, take a little breather. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll wander over there and talk to her for a few minutes. I've been talking with the fellas the whole time. Start making my way over there, grab my drink. Boom. 2 seconds later, older gentleman sits down. I was like, oh, well, what do we have here? Maybe I'll just sit back and watch. So I work my way back. DA, Swanee, Billy. I'm like, look at this. Look what's going on over here. This dude's hitting on my wife. So we're watching. I'm sneaky filming it. I got pictures. I got the whole thing.
Were you sneaky filming
I'm clapping it? Well, I thought I was sneaky, but I'll tell you in a second, it maybe wasn't as sneaky as I thought. So they're talking, and I'm laughing, and we're having a good time. And I'm like, shit, this is going on a little longer than it should be. When my wife going to tell him to piss off? You know what I mean? Doesn't. They're having a conversation. Apparently, he sees me. He's like, is that your boy? Is that your boy over there, the one that's clapping and filming right now? She's like, yeah, that's him. So anyway, she gets done. She works her way over, and we're giving her shit like, whoa, Jesus Christ, fucking how long of a conversation you have with this dude? And you tell him about me or whatever. Come to find out, the dude, he looked a little bit familiar. He's on the Today Show. And he's like, oh, you mean that? He's like, yeah, I got the spot on the Today Show whenever I want. So there's a dude on the Today Show, and I was like, that son of a...
He's on national television, bud. You're on a little podcast.
Told her everything he does, all the different shows he has, all this stuff. I'm like, that son of a bitch, like trying to grease my wife right in front of me after he saw me video and the whole thing. So, anyways, I am on a indefinite boycott of the Today Show. Not that I'm ever up early enough to watch it, but if I was, I'm not watching the thing, and I would recommend all of our listeners do the same thing because there's one guy there that tried to snake my wife right in front of my face.
Darn, they're only down to like 5.99 million viewers a day now.
And he's like, do you want to get on my helicopter and fly back? I was like, Jesus, how am I supposed to compete? So that's my moment of the week. My wife didn't leave with him, though.
Well, cheers, old fella.
Yeah,
congrats on trying to steal your wife away from you.
Yes, his name will not be mentioned.
All right. Well, last week, we had one of the captains on the show, Trevor Immelman, the International President's Cup team captain. This week, another one. We got DL3, Davis Love III, joining us to talk about the President's Cup, what's going on with LIV. He's been very outspoken about it. Let's get to it. Here's Davis Love III on Golf Subpar.
All right, we got a World Golf Hall of Famer in the house with us here today. He's a major champ, 2-time Players champ. He's been a Ryder Cup captain, and he's about to lead our boys into battle at the President's Cup at Quail Hollow. He is Davis Love III. What's up, DL?
How's it going, guys? Happy to be on your show. We've been talking about this since the Masters, haven't we, Colt? We have been talking about it a lot, but we've both been rather busy. I know you've been
Yeah.
in the news quite a bit lately, which I love seeing. I love all the things you've been saying about this live tour and everything that's going on. So we might as well just dive right into it, Davis. Before we get into the fun stuff, which is the President's Cup, you've made some interesting comments lately about the live tour, and I just want you to kind of expand on those because I think all three of us here are kind of on the same page with it.
Well, I don't want to expand on them. I'll just keep repeating them.
Okay, perfect. I thought you were saving the good stuff for us.
Unfortunately, well, there's some new stuff. Every day there's new stuff. We just had last week during the Memphis tournament, we had that first little peek behind the window of what the court case is going to look like. So that was very interesting. It's just sad, though, that we're talking about the President's Cup coming up. We're talking about the FedEx Cup playoffs. And all we're worried about is anybody else going to leave after, is Zalatoris, now he won, is he safe? What's Cam Young? He didn't play well. What's he going to do? What's Cam Smith going to do? What's Joaquin Niemann going to do? It's Tim Fincham always, when we had a tough situation, he said, well, it's just a distraction. Well, yeah, this is a big distraction to what's going on golf. But you get into the playoff last week and it's like, all right, this is exciting. I don't think they're ever going to have that kind of excitement in the 54-hole exhibition match that's a shotgun start. So I don't know where it's going to go. You guys have a better perspective on what's going on. I'm just in a little bubble trying to fight for my President's Cup team and trying to fight for the PGA Tour. And it's going to be a long court battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, and DL, as we're recording this right now, Tiger Woods has flown up to Delaware. He's meeting with a bunch of the players, I guess, kind of to quote-unquote rally the troops. Did you see this coming? What kind of an impact does that have when a guy like Tiger, if you're a guy who's being rumored or maybe on the fence, does an impact like having a guy like Tiger Woods come in and kind of vouch for the PGA Tour? What kind of impact will that have? Well,
we could talk for an hour probably on what Tiger has meant to the PGA Tour, what he's meant the last 6 months. He's taken a step into the public saying, I'm with the PGA Tour. I'm here for the future of the PGA Tour. Obviously we heard he turned down a bunch of money, but behind the scenes, he's been talking to players, talking to the golf organizations. If he wants to get up in front of a microphone and tell everything he's been doing, he can do that. But he and Rory have been spending more time talking to Jay Monahan and to others probably than any other two players, other than the board members. Rory's on the board. I think it's really been hurting Kevin Kisner's game because he's put so much time as a board member into this over the last 6 months. But it's great that he's going. I heard that Ricky Fowler might have gone with him to the meeting. Mm-hmm. I was asked yesterday in the media, I said, well, I don't know. I got my yacht tracker and my flight tracker going to see where Tiger's going, if he's going or not. It just makes a big statement that, hey, what Jay said a few weeks ago was very important. Regulations written by the players for the players. And
I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's one thing I don't think people understand is, everybody's like, oh, they're independent contractors. How can they force them? These rules and regulations are written by the players. And I don't think people understand that.
You're exactly right. So independent contractor is a bad term, I think, because Colt, you and I, the beginning of every year, what do? We pay our dues and we join an organization, and then they put rules on us. And so I'm a Hall of Fame member. I'm a life member of the PGA Tour, right? I'm only playing in a PGA Tour event in Detroit because I'm a life member, not because I finished in the 125 last year. So what if I say the commitment deadline's Friday? Well, what if I say on Tuesday, I decide I want to play the PGA Tour event that week? Hey, I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm a life member. I just want to play. That rule doesn't apply to me. No, I didn't commit by Friday. I don't get to play no matter what. That's what Phil Mickelson and these guys are saying. The rules don't apply to me because I'm a big shot. We want to go somewhere else and join another league that has rules but we want to come back to the league we left and play a couple tournaments. No, no right, sane person. If a player on the Braves says, you know what, the Japanese baseball league is going to pay me a lot of money, so I'm going to go over there and play. But when it's the playoffs and the Braves make it, I want to come back. No, you took money from another team and you left the team you were on. It just doesn't make any sense. So players are realizing that more now. That, hey, yeah, if Tiger Woods and Roy are helping write rules and Kevin Kisner and Charlie Hoffman have been voting on these rules, then we do make the rules and we can change them to suit the future of PGA Tour golf. Things are going to change. They changed in 1994 because of what Greg Norman brought up, and it changed for the better. But if you do it within the system and you don't leave, you get the benefit of that. And that's what Greg Norman left the system in 1994.
Davis, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to ask a question just kind of like around the origin of all this, because that's kind of the narrative that's been put out there, is that Norman basically had the idea or the proposal of what would eventually become the WGC events, and the tour basically took that idea from him, and that's where WGC was born. He's had a vendetta since then. Is that accurate, or is there anything else people need to know about that?
Well, that is the result, yes. So Greg proposed top 30 players. He brought it up in the middle of the Shark Shootout, whenever that was, in like November, and said, I've got Fox, we're going to do this. But it was the same thing. We're going to play the week before the majors. We're going to play 8 tournaments. So it wasn't just 70, or it wasn't the World Golf Championship format that fit within the PGA Tour system. It was another league that was going to play 8 events up against PGA Tour events. Well, that just doesn't work. And back then we asked the exact same questions I would ask Greg Norman right now. Where do your next 48 players come from?
Yep.
Right. He's stealing them from the PGA Tour now, but where do they come from? So here's what we're going to see in this long court battle. And the fans will eventually recognize this, and some of the players that don't really get it. The LIV Tour wants to be the big tour, and they want the NCAA, the Asian Tour, the DP World Tour Europe, and the PGA Tour to feed players to their tour. They don't want to coexist. There is no coexisting they want to play 14 events next year, and their players be allowed to play everywhere else in the world that they want to play, because they're the best players in the world, and they do not want to coexist with the PGA Tour or the DP World Tour.
And Davis, that's one thing I get asked all the time, is like, why can't they coexist? And I mean, you just said a great explanation there. And I said this from the other side. It's like, look at guys like Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth. They've stayed loyal to the PGA Tour. If somehow the PGA Tour and the LIV merged, how do you think those guys are going to feel when you're like, okay, so Dustin Johnson got to go over here and get $150 million. Now he gets to come back and play in the same tournaments that I'm playing in. Like, how is that fair to them?
Play the biggest, yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
So the structure of the PGA Tour is, my foundation owns and operates a PGA Tour event. Tiger's foundation owns and operates a PGA Tour event. Jack Nicklaus and the Arnold Palmer family. The PGA Tour doesn't own those tournaments. Mm-hmm. Our foundation owns those tournaments. And so we are selling to a sponsor saying, there's a chance that these 200 guys could play in your tournament. From number 1 to number 200 can get in this tournament. If I go to sell that next year and I say, well, these 48 guys, they're on this other tour, they're only going to play the Players and a couple other tournaments, they're not going to play in my tournament. Well, our business model just falls apart. And that's what people need to understand, is those guys are employees of another golf league that's going to play the same weeks as PGA Tour events. We can't sell that to FedEx. That doesn't work. So we have to be able to say, we have rules and regulations that say that Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and Will Zalatoris, they have to play 15 events of our schedule minimum. Then we can go sell it. And that's what people have to understand, is It's worked for 30 or 40 years really well. Billy Horschel is a member of the the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour, the European Tour. Rory McIlroy is a member of both. It works. Mm-hmm. You can play wherever you want as long as you play by the rules of their tour or the Asian Tour or our tour.
Yeah, and one thing you said right there is, you go sell it to these sponsors, and that's one thing I don't think Jay and the PGA Tour get enough credit for, because you look at this other tour, they got unlimited money, they got no sponsors and all this, and people are like, this is how TV should be, blah, 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 all this. But I don't think we give Jay and the PGA Tour enough credit. Like, they have to go out to these individual sponsors, whether it's Valspar, whether it's Farmers, and they have to sell them this product, and they have to get basically 48 different sponsors. I know some of them are overlapping, but they do 48 different title sponsors. That's incredible.
And Colt, on the board, they gave us a presentation one time. They said there's Fortune 400 companies, right? And you start whittling it down to the companies that can afford, the companies that can market on the PGA Tour, the companies that would be a sponsor, that do corporate entertainment. It's down to maybe 40 companies that we can sell to that could replace a sponsor that comes. It's not like there's thousands of companies that we're selling to. It's a very small market. There's very few AT&Ts and Coca-Colas and RBCs that are willing to get into sponsoring a PGA Tour event. Just like NASCAR or just like Formula One, there's not that many companies that are going to put that kind of money into a specific sport. So yes, they do an incredible job. When we have a hole, they always seem to fill it. How long has it been since a tournament's just gone dark, or we've had a hole in the schedule? Even through COVID, even through the .com bust, we never really said, oh, we lost 5 tournaments this year. Sorry, guys, you don't get to play for it. Our purses have never gone down. They've rarely gone flat. That's what you go into court and you say, look at this model we have. Look at the growth in the last 20 years. Our rules and regulations and our system works for hundreds of people, not the top 40.
Yeah, and Davis, let me ask you this, because I think it's fair to say at this point, like, LIV Golf has become a disruptor, right? It's throwing a wrinkle in things. It's making some waves. And I know hindsight is 2020, and Jay Monahan was dealt a tough hand in all this, but seeing how things are now, is there anything that could have been done earlier to navigate this differently? If you had a crystal ball.
I've been asked that a lot. I don't know. Jay has known the behind the scenes stuff for a lot longer than a lot of us, especially me. The board's been working on this for well over a year. So it was always going to be, in my estimation, a hostile takeover, not a, hey, we want to be partners with you guys. They've always wanted to play against our tournaments, and we have current contracts that just can't allow that. So no, I don't think there is. And, that is hindsight. But what we have to understand is Jay never said, or the top players never said, you can't do that. LIV can do whatever they want. They can play whenever and wherever they want. We just can't play, give you a release. Davis Love can't have a release to go play. If they invite me to go play the week after the Tour Championship, I can't get a release to go play in that based on our rules. And I think I had a great talk with Dustin Johnson. I've had a couple talks with Hudson Swafford. We're still amicable. I just disagree with their decision, and they have to understand my position is I support the PGA Tour rules, and you can go do whatever you want. Why don't you just go do it and not sue to play on the PGA Tour? And what we saw in court is LIV made a great argument for us that we're the best tour. The FedEx Cup is the pinnacle of golf. It's the road to get in the majors. Yes, those guys that are playing there can't survive without our system. And so that's really the battle is the golf organizations, the majors, really the second best tour in the world, the DP World Tour in Europe, they figured out how to coexist. They haven't tried. We haven't tried to take over. We've made it easier for European players to play our tour, not harder, right? We've made it easier for international players to get on our tour. Sometimes Americans like Colt and I go, hey, wait a minute. It's over half the tour is foreign players. Maybe that's too many. So we've been agreeable and accessible on everything, except people that come into the United States and want to play against our weeks on tour that is John Deere and RBC, current sponsors. They targeted that early on. So I don't think there was any way that they wanted to get along or that they wanted to sit down and partner with us. I don't think that was ever part of the discussion.
No, knowing Greg Norman, and I just don't think there's any way he ever wanted to partner with the PGA Tour. I mean, with the vendetta he has against them.
You can hear it in what he says. They say, we're here to shake it up, to take over, to change golf, to he says things that are so untrue. He gets up there and says, we're a closed shop a few weeks ago. No, I know 3 guys and what you're offering them. You're begging them to come. It's not a closed shop. And then he tells, I could see it. You've seen it in the text messages that are released with Sergio, but he tells players they can't suspend you for 1 day, much less a year. Well, that's a lie.
Yeah, it's totally not true.
Guys get suspended all the time.
Yeah, I want to go back because you brought up a few names. You brought up, Hudson Swafford, Dustin Johnson, who I know you respect his game as much as anybody out there on the PGA Tour, and you're the nicest guy out there. So you have no beef with anyone. Has any of your friendships kind of suffered a little bit because of this LIV? I know you and Phil were very close.
It's awkward. Hudson and I have had 2 very productive conversations. I still disagree with him. He still disagrees with me. But if I run into him in the grocery store, I'm going to say hi to him and his kids. And, I'm not against people, Colt. You know what I mean? I'm not against.
Yep.
Dustin Johnson was if you said, who's your MVP of all your captains and assistant captains roles, teams you played on, Dustin Johnson's my MVP. He left Whistling Straits an American golf hero. He did everything he was asked to do. Plus he played his butt off. Plus he was the oldest guy, was a team leader. I am crushed that I don't have Dustin Johnson on this team not because of the golf, because I want Dustin. I sat Dustin out at Hazeltine for Saturday morning. He hung up the phone on me when I told him he was sitting out. I thought he was going to kill me when I got back to the hotel. And when I get back to the hotel, he's like, hey, Cap, we're going to play ping pong. Is that okay before the meeting? And he's just like nothing ever happened. You know who the first person was dressed and ready to go Saturday morning? Dustin Johnson. He rode with the captains to the golf course. He ate breakfast with us. He watched all the guys tee off. He was the best team guy. He got a bad reputation, for not caring or not trying or not being a team guy. He was great. So was Brooks. Brooks did everything I ever asked him to do. Had to twist his arm a little bit sometimes. But I'm going to miss my friends. But I disagree with. Now, Dustin's not suing directly. He's not listed. But he's a part of a group that's trying to take down the PGA Tour. So I have to disagree with what they're doing. But if Dustin calls me up and says, hey, Cap, I need something, I'm going to try to help the guy. Same thing with Hudson. Charles Howell, I haven't talked to him, but that just crushes me. He loved playing at Sea Island. He loved the RSM Classic. He lived down here for a while. I rode his kids around in the cart, when he was winning. It's just sad that those guys chose to do something other than the PGA Tour, and now we're in a fight with them.
Have you talked to either of those guys or anyone else who has left about their experience since they got to live like the actual events? Do they genuinely like it? Do they miss playing on the PGA Tour in front of more people and things like that?
Only one guy, and he said, yeah, it is fun and it's exciting and it's different. And I said, you know what? I played a lot of golf with Greg Norman. He beat me a lot at a lot of different places. If somebody was pouring beer out of the grandstands into a guy's mouth on the ground while Greg Norman was playing golf, he wouldn't have gone for it. If somebody rode by in a cart with music playing, he would have stopped what he was doing and they would have had to stop the music. So I don't buy all that. This is what Greg Norman always wanted. But those guys say it's fun. They look like they're having fun on the plane. But you know what? Again, they can do whatever they want. I don't tell them they can't do that. If that's what Hudson wants to do, or Charles Howell, more power to you. You're in that right. But Fred Couples and I won a bunch of tournaments in November and December, and we got paid to play in them, and then we won them and won money. They were exhibition events. They were fun. Mark Rolfing put on a bunch of them, made me a lot of money, but they don't count. Sometimes people say Davis Love's won 37 worldwide events. Well, there are 16 that really don't count. The 21 on the PGA Tour count. 4 World Cups were great, but Freddie and I won that together, and we were paid to show up and play in them. So there's no problem doing that, but we can't make a career out of the silly season events. And so that's what I would tell, and I've told a couple of those guys that left, you can go do that, and more power to you if you're having fun, but don't come back and sue me and the PGA Tour to play in the Players Championship. That's not right.
Yeah, and I'll say this, they might be having a great time. It looks like a lot of fun. Like you said, music, drinking, parties every night, all this. But what we saw in Memphis this past weekend with Will Zalatoris, Sepp Straka battling it out, the pride and how much it meant to Will Zalatoris to win that tournament, you're not going to see that over there. I mean, it's just you win a lot of money, but there's nothing to play for. Like, you don't earn anything when you win a tournament over there other than money.
Not even close. I'll say they played 3. Have you heard anybody talk about a shot that somebody hit?
No.
Or a putt that they made? Or all you hear is 4.75 million. Well, great. Patrick Cantlay won 22-something million on the golf course last year. He's a FedEx Cup champion. He has a cool trophy, and they're going to talk about that forever because he won the FedEx Cup. And somebody is going to win it this year, and I don't even know what they're playing for. But
18 million, Davis, in case you're wondering.
I don't know how much I won. I won on the PGA Tour. Now I'm a member,
Yeah.
So that's what Tiger, Rory, why I'm speaking out. I want that for Davis Thompson, our tournament director's son, just made it onto the PGA Tour through the Korn Ferry. Jackson Bird's playing high school golf, wants to play at Clemson like his dad. We want the PGA Tour, like Tiger had, like Jonathan Bird had, like so many people had, as an opportunity to play on the PGA Tour and chase Tiger Woods records or Jack Nicklaus's records or Arnold Palmer's records. That's what's important. And I don't know Max Homa that well. I've just gotten to know him a little bit over the last couple of years. The best line of the whole thing the last 6 months is Max Homa. You can't buy my dream. None of us stood on a green when we were a kid and said, this is for $5 million or this is for $10 million. Yeah. This is to win the US Open. This is to beat Jack Nicklaus. This is the kids now. This is to beat Tiger Woods, and they practice his fist pump. That's what it's all about. And Tom Kim and Tony Finau and Will Zalatoris and all the guys that have won lately, it was exciting golf. And
yes, it was.
CBS and NBC did a great job showing that. And that's going to continue on. And it's just going to be, unfortunately, the tour's moved on from a lot of generations. It's going to move on from Tiger Woods. Great golf is going to be played, believe it or not, without Tiger Woods. And it's going to be Cam Young and Will Zalatoris and Scotty Scheffler and Davis Thompson and whoever the next kids are. And it's going to be just as good. And the guys that left and went to LIV, if the tour's rules are upheld, they're going to move on from them too. And they can go do whatever they want. And it's not to say that LIV can't be successful in a place to play, but it is never going to be in 20 years that X guy won 12 LIV Tour events and he's going to go down in history. I just don't see it.
This is my last question on the LIV stuff here, Davis, before we go into some President's Cup stuff. But I want to ask you, because it got a lot of attention. You spoke somewhere and you talked about a nuclear option where PGA Tour players could possibly refuse to play if LIV players were allowed to play in tour events or majors, or et cetera. Having said that, do you think there are enough guys who are willing to take that stand to make that a viable option?
Well, I didn't come up with that. That was kind of a locker room discussion from some veteran players. And I really didn't say US Open. I was really saying, this was weeks ago, that if that court case if the LIV golfers were successful and those 3 players were allowed to play the FedEx Cup playoffs, our option was to say, all right, they are allowed to play. We're not playing. There was 30 guys watching Keith Mitchell's phone in the locker room in Memphis. I was one of them. There was a sense there of what are we going to do if these guys are allowed to play? Those guys are outside the gate circling, thinking that they're going to play.
That's unbelievable.
Were they really outside the gate?
It is unbelievable because I was on the plane with Hudson Swafford coming back from Memphis the next day. What if that judge had said, look, I can't decide this that fast. We have to let them play. What would those 30 guys in that room? They'd have turned around and looked at Rory McIlroy and go, what do we do now?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would have been the most awkward situation I've ever seen on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, that judge judged it well. It's just not right. You guys got paid more money to sign up for LIV than you would have won in the FedEx. And the greatest line she had is, anybody can miss a 3-foot putt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this lady gets it. They're not guaranteed they're going to win the FedEx Cup if she lets them play. So that is still an option. But my point was the players own and operate. They control the PGA Tour, not Jay Monahan, not LIV Golf, not a court of law. We are an association of players, just like baseball. They have a union. And if they see something as athletes and as teammates and as pro ball players, this is not right. This rule change or what the league did is not right. We're not playing until we get it straightened out. They've done it a lot. It's option. It's worst case scenario. But that's only if somebody outside of our organization tries to change our organization. The players can put their foot down. We don't need to wait for Fred Ridley to do it for us, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you're right. It's the membership has a lot of say in this thing. I mean, they pretty much have all the say.
They voted on something in the PAC meeting at 3:00 today that is a fundamental change that will help a lot. I don't know which way it's going to go or it went. It has to go to the board. Tiger, Rory, and a bunch of guys are going to listen and talk in a meeting today. Some great ideas will come out of that. It has to go before the board. I sat in the boardroom for 19 years. I know the system works. It's what the membership wants. Sometimes you have to twist some guy's arms and get them to come around on it. But the board, 4 independent directors, 4 player directors, sit in a meeting and decide what's best for the PGA Tour based on input from the players. And that will continue on. So a lot's going on today. A lot will happen. We got a lot to talk about President's Cup that is LIV and is not LIV.
Yeah,
we don't know who's going to be on either team until after the Tour Championship. In a lot of ways. I'll
tell you this before, and just to help the people out there understand, like I was part of a rule change with the PAC. I went in front of the PAC when I had 2 separate surgeries, and I went and I got a rule changed. It happens, so it can be done. I mean, they can change rules as long as it gets voted on.
In eligibility, access to the PGA Tour, to what's going to happen if we do this in the FedEx, the players know better than the staff. Mm-hmm. The players, because it affects you, Colt, and it affects Brian Gay. There was a rule last year that somebody pointed out, hey, you're adding up the points wrong.
Yeah,
you got to go back and do this over. My stats guys and I and Stefan Schauffele caught it Sunday night after Will won. They gave him point value for FedEx points, and we were supposed to allow for President's Cup list. It was supposed to be weighted towards a World Golf Championship event. Well, 3 people that are not staff members caught it immediately and called the tour and said, hey, you did the points wrong. So yes, those suggestions from the players will go up through the process and get voted on and changed if needed. But, now we're having to say, what happens if Trevor has his team set after the BMW? He's going to get his top 8 or 9 or whatever he's getting on points. And then all of a sudden, a week later, one of them's gone. He's going to have to do something different. He's going to
which could happen. Yeah.
And look, I mean, it's no secret. I mean, the USA has absolutely dominated the President's Cup, and I know how much this means to you being in Charlotte, and you want it to be a great competition. I know you want to win, but it still needs to be a great competition. And your team, I'm pretty sure, is going to be fine no matter what happens. On the other side, though, with Trevor, like, I mean, it's and we had him on the show recently. I mean, he's like, look, it's a pain. He basically said it's been a pain in my ass, like having to deal with all this. And at what point, like, do you almost feel bad for what he has to go through with this, or are you in the same boat?
I feel bad for him because when this all started and we were named as captains, I love Trevor's whole family. You know, his dad has been great to me. His brother's been obviously great to me. I worked some with him. I looked at it as this is going to be just like when I was captain with Jose Maria or I was captain with Darren Clark. It's people that I really, really respect and love being around. And now it's become a problem for both of us. And I've tried as hard as I can. I'm trying to help him. Well, what can I do for you? You know, we're in it together until we tee off on Thursday, that we're both trying to help and protect and build our teams. So yes, it's tough. They're always been behind the eight ball. You know, we've always had on paper the better team. We've made some rules changes that they wanted that try to help them. You know, we go all the way to Australia, try to give them a home game. So it's unfortunate. He's going to have 12 great players. I think our 12 are going to be obviously higher ranked and stronger, but they're going to use that for a motivation. We have to be really careful to not go in there thinking, well, they lost a bunch of players and it's our home course and we got home fans. I think it's still going to be great. We're just going to have to get to Thursday afternoon playing golf for all this to kind of die down.
Yeah, does that give you a little more pressure being that the U.S. team is so loaded? We don't necessarily know exactly what will happen with the international team. And you're on home soil. It's like, yeah, the expectations are super high, but it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a no-win scenario, but like most people are expecting the U.S. to go out and just dominate.
Yeah, it's, you know, expectations, I think, get in the way of professional golfers more than anything. You know, you show up at, you know, Tony Finau said it at 3M, you know, yeah. I'm the highest ranked player. People are expecting me to win. He still had to shoot whatever 20 something under par to win. So expectations get in our way. I think that hurts us in the Ryder Cup because on paper we're supposed to be the best team, but then we underperform and the pressure gets to you and you want to win. So yes, we're going to have to manage that. That's one thing that we'll be talking to the team about. And then you got to realize some of these guys, hopefully not any of them, but on every team, there's a guy that only plays once. It's his President's Cup or his Ryder Cup. So you have to make the experience the same every year, get bigger and grander every time. So I challenge my wife, Robin, is, hey, you know, we've been on a lot of these teams. We're spoiled, but there's going to be new people every year that we have to make the experience great for them. And so we're trying to get ready and be prepared for, oh, the U.S. team, they're supposed to win. Well, we're going to have to use that to our advantage and work really hard. We still have to play practice rounds. We have to still be prepared. But you know what? They give you a uniform. Like Byron Nelson said, we get pants alike and bags alike. And when they give out the gear and it has the flag on it, our guys are going to be fired up and ready to play. And so will his guys.
No doubt about it. And let's talk a bit about the venue, because I think Charlotte, I think this city is going to go nuts over the President's Cup. We see what they do at the Wells Fargo every year. It's one of the most well-attended events on the PGA Tour. What do you expect from that crowd in Charlotte?
Well, they'll be loud. We're going to hear a lot of Go Heels, but there's also a lot of other teams around there. We're going to have a bunch of Wake Forest guys, it looks like. We got Webb for sure. He lives on the back nine. And so we keep saying, every time Webb asks a question, what are we going to do about this? I go, we're coming to your house.
Yep. I don't blame you.
Come over and babysit and hang out in your backyard. But the fans are going to be great. The build out is incredible. How much stuff they've built there. It's just, the first tee is just unreal. It's going to be loud and exciting. You know, they've changed the routing of the course. So the green miles 16, 17, 18 is now in the middle of the back nine. So everybody pretty much will get to play those 3 holes. And it's just massive superstructures in there. A lot of risk reward holes. I think it's going to be exciting golf and loud crowds. And, you know, then you got Michael Jordan and all the pro sports teams there. You got NASCAR. It's just a great sports town, and they've been fired up for it for 3 years. So they're going to be ready to go.
Could we
let's
possibly
get to that
see,
important question.
Hold on. Could we possibly see any Carolina blue slide into the uniforms?
Yeah, and thankfully Tiger brought that out in 19. He had a Carolina blue shirt. I think they wore it on Sunday. Carolina blue, and then flip the head cover over when you see somebody's bag. Top will be the head cover over.
I'll be sure to do that.
Did it make your job easier as captain, being that there are no Duke guys on the bubble for the squad?
Yeah,
I feel like that would have to play a role.
That's if a Duke guy is playing really well, though, we like guys that are putting good. So, but no, somebody asked me a few weeks ago, do you have a problem with all this Wake Forest stuff? I go, not when it's Will Zalatoris and Cam Young. I don't have a problem with it at all. I played with them at Detroit, and I'm sure people said that about me and when I came out on tour, but it's astounding the golf shots those guys hit. Plus they putt great, but holy cow, the drives they hit and the irons. If Cam cut a 5-iron into a par 3, I could draw a 4 and get it on the green. There was only one club difference, but off the tee, it's just a joke how far they fly it, how pretty they hit it, and no spin. My caddy, Jeff Weber, caddied for me for a long time, caddied for a lot of great players, John Cook and David Duval, and he's seen it all like me. After 9 holes, he went, "These guys are the future of golf, aren't they?" I went, "Oh, yeah."
I had your group.
They're the current, too.
I had your group that Thursday afternoon, I believe, and the places they hit their drive. I mean, you're still not short by any means. And I'm like sitting there with the microphone. I'm like, thank God I don't play this game anymore. These guys outdrive me by 80.
I was 3 under through 5. The short holes, I got off to a great start, and they got off to a rocky start. And I'm like, wow, this is going great. And then I had an In-N-Out burger stretch where I went double. And then I got to swinging so fast. I hit it so bad. I hit it really good the next week at Wyndham. I screwed it up to miss the cut, but they put me in shock after a while.
It's another level, man.
Oh, it's crazy.
And they all do it. But speaking on that distance that they all have, one of the perks of being the home captain is you have a little influence on the course setup. Are you doing anything or making any changes to the course setup to accommodate what your boys do?
Well, one, Johnny Harris and his team, you could show up there anytime, and that course is ready for major championship golf. So you don't have to do much. A little bit lower rough because of the time of year, and because I think that match play, you don't want guys chipping out and playing U.S. Open style golf. It's more fun to watch guys make birdies. The mowing lines are a little bit different than the tournament. They're kind of going around the bunkers, so the ball kind of run out, maybe run in the bunkers rather than running into rough. But no, pretty much like you've seen the Wells Fargo. The greens have so much slope and undulation, and they're so fast that you'll probably see very similar hole locations to the Wells Fargo tournament. Obviously, have to pick a couple more because it's not just 4 rounds of golf. But no, it'll look a lot like just the order of holes. And if I can get it right, we play 1 through 8 like normally we play. Then instead of playing 9, you skip over to the 12th hole and play around through 18 will be 15. And then you play 10, 11 will be 16, 17. And then number 9 will be 18. So a little bit different order. And I think lower rough is always good for our team. I'm not saying
agreed.
I'm not saying that they hit it crooked. They just hit it so far. It's hard to get it in the fairway. So we've always
gonna be complaining.
We've always tried to do that is a little bit lower rough. So it'll be first cut. What do we have to say at Augusta? It's not rough.
The second cut. It's just the second cut.
That's what we're gonna have. Second
cut. Yeah. There's no rough at Augusta.
Can't
there's
say
no divots either. There's no divots. There's no mud ball. There's no.
Oh, there's no mud. There's no nothing.
No mud ball.
It's just perfect.
Quail Hollow is like a mini Augusta. The way they run the tournament. They have an incredible club staff, incredible agronomy staff, and it's just going to be I don't know. I think they got 50 acres more somehow at Quail Olive in the last couple of years because there's just more parking lots and more space, and it's just incredible. It's going to be a great venue. Like
Johnny
I said,
Harris is a powerful man.
once we get to that week, it's going to be game on. It's going to be very, very exciting.
I agree. Well, this is about to be exciting because we're going to do the emergency 9 with Davis Love III real quick. We do this with all of our guests. These are just fun questions, nothing serious, to get to know a little bit more about you. And we ask this to everyone, Davis.
Okay.
It can be anyone for a day, dead or alive. You get to be them for a day. Who would it be?
I would be Jack Nicklaus, and probably off the golf course.
Interesting.
I think he led the most interesting life of a great, because I know him, know his family. Just like walk in his shoes for one day, to be that good at something.
I think that might be the first Jack we've ever had out of all the golfers. I thought you might say you'd be Greg Norman tomorrow and just shut the whole thing down.
How about Max Homa? Max Homa was asked that question. He said, "I'd be Davis Love III, and I'd pick me for the President's Cup."
Yep, genius.
Yeah,
He's
smart.
He sat with us in Detroit, Amanda Balionis or Amanda Renner and I on that set on 15, and Zach Johnson went through it. He's like, "Oh, Captain, you look great." God, people don't talk about how handsome you are.
Wow. Are you getting more hair? Is your hair growing back?
I love it. All right, Jack Nicklaus. Go ahead, Slee.
Max knows how to kiss up in the right time. All right, here we go, Davis. As you start designing more and more golf courses, the same way Pete Dye has the railroad ties as a kind of his signature, do you think your signature could be the exploding sprinkler head?
Yes. I'll never live that one down. Thankfully,
it's so good.
Arnold Palmer covered for me on that one, and I didn't get in too much trouble.
You didn't even hit it that hard is the crazy thing.
No.
I've seen way worse, and nothing happens. You just, you flicked it, and all of a sudden, Old Faithful erupted.
Some player just mentioned that to me, and they said the best thing about the whole thing is you made the putt.
Yeah, that is true. And then you got a bill, right?
Yeah, I got a bill, and it was like parts were $1,795, and then labor was like $100,000.
Thanks, Mr. Palmer. That's awesome.
Yeah. It ain't cheap at Bay Hill.
But I know we'll never get through this 9 questions, but he came to the media room and he explained it away to me and to the media and made me feel better so I could go play the next day. That's Arnold.
Because he's the best.
That's
you
awesome.
still had to go play.
Yeah, I had to play the final round.
All right. Well, we know you're a proud North Carolina Tar Heel. Who's your least favorite Duke basketball player of all time? Who'd you hate the most?
As a basketball player, it'd probably be Grant Hill.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like he always made too many shots against us. But I love Grant Hill. But as a Duke basketball player, I don't want to see any more of his highlights.
Okay, fair. I met Shane Battier, by the way, a few weeks ago. What a nice guy he is. I know he's a Blue Devil.
Hey, you know what the problem
so
is?
Nice.
Like Kevin Streelman, they're all really nice guys. You can't. Mike Krzyzewski came and spoke to the Ryder Cup team, and I've always liked him, and now I really like him. So, but you know what?
Well, damn.
I've never been a fan that doesn't like other teams. I don't pull for Duke, but I also don't pull against them, if you know what I mean.
Well, damn. That's disappointing for one of my upcoming E9s. I'm going to have to do a quick audible here. But I'll go back to the President's Cup here for a minute. Even though they are a very formidable duo, are you at all concerned about pairing Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay together based on the fact they might just get a little too emotional out there? Got to wind them down.
They're one of my teams that I would run them out there until they tell me to stop. I love those two guys together.
That is
I'd let either one of them order.
Duo.
They're great. They're great at restaurants and ordering food, and I've learned a lot from them.
They're very interesting fellas.
Just one.
Yeah, they're just a little too wound up. You know, just got to bring it down a couple notches, boys.
All right. My next one, Davis. I don't know if you saw a couple weeks ago, but Ryder Cup captain and myself, Zach Johnson, played a little bit of a joke out there, posting a picture of me and him with the Ryder Cup, saying I was going to be an assistant captain at next year's Ryder Cup. And people kind of ran with it, and they kind of liked the idea. I need you to please convince Zach to do this. I need to be a part of this team. What do you think?
Well, a lot of people told me that that Zach was mad about that. And I know Zach wasn't mad. He got a big laugh about it. And thankfully, since you found his wallet that same day, he owes you one. So I think anybody that can pull off like that and save the day, he might need you.
See, that's one thing we always got to remind him is I did find his wallet that day.
Yeah. And you've done it a couple years. You've done his Pro-Am. You've come out there and supported his charity. I think he owes you.
There it is. It's done.
Did the wallet have any cash in it when you gave it back to him?
No, that's not we don't need to worry about that.
We cleaned
Just happened to be empty, Zach. This is the way I found it, bud. And your black card was missing. I don't know what the hell, but here it is. Here's your Kroger card. All right, I got to do a quick audible here since you answered one of them basically. All right, give me this. Outside of golf, has anything made you happier than UNC beating Duke at Coach K's last game at Cameron?
In sports, that was in the top 3. Braves World Series, and our buddy Adam Wainwright from St. Simon's for the Cardinals closing out the World Series are my top 3.
Okay, right there. That's like a Super Bowl or national championship, basically. Okay, fair.
All right, Davis, you're kind of the godfather of Sea Island down there. I mean, you got tons of great players down there. Now, I've asked this. This will be the third time I've asked this question, and I'm very interested to see if the trend continues. But when all you tour guys get together and play some money games, who's your favorite guy to beat out of money down there that lives at Sea Island?
Well, does it have to be somebody with tour status?
No, just any of the professional golfers.
Drew Love.
Your own son, perfect. Patton Kazire has been the answer every other time.
Patton hates. And you know what? During COVID, we played a bunch of 2, 3, 4 groups. I learned about Venmo because I was winning money. Like, where's the cash? And Drew goes, no, Dad. You have to do Venmo.
I'm with you. I like the cash.
Yeah, cash is way more painful. It's way more painful to watch them hand the cash than to Venmo.
But no, it's Drew. Ask Grace and Sig or these guys. Drew beats everybody. Like Higo came here before he went to Congaree and played for. And Drew goes, "Hey, I met this kid, Garrick Higo. He looks like he's pretty good." I go, "How'd he play?" He goes, "Well, I won some money off of him." Drew on the island, you don't want any part of him. But I always tell him, I can beat you if we can find some yellow ropes and put them up. I can't ever win if there's not ropes. But
I like that.
Yeah, Patton's a tough. Unfortunately, lately I haven't gotten in very many games. So there are a lot of good ones here, though. There's a lot of great players.
There are.
We could have some President's Cup guys sneak up here at the last minute too. Poston and Harmon playing well.
Your top 12 looks pretty okay. I wrote them down, and you're not gonna have to stress too much with your captain's picks. It looks
you're doing okay.
I'm gonna stress on who to call and tell them they're not playing. That's the only thing I'm stressing on.
That's a tough one. Are you mentally prepped for that yet? Because there's some dudes that can make an argument and great players have a great couple years, but you got to do that eventually.
I've had to make some really tough phone calls. Obviously, they're all tough.
But, is that the hardest part about being the captain?
It's awful. It really. I mean, I had to call Bubba Watson twice and tell him we didn't pick him in one Ryder Cup. You know, we picked 3, and then we waited a week, and then we picked another guy, and I skipped over Bubba both times. That was really hard to do. He was number 7 in the world and number 9 in Ryder Cup points, and we skipped him.
Wow.
Those are hard phone calls to make. But guys are expecting. Ryan Moore wanted me to tell him 2 weeks before the Ryder Cup that he wasn't on the team so he could relax. I said, no, go play the FedEx Cup. You might win. And sure enough, he got picked on the team. So I've got guys like that. They said, what do I do? Should I play Wyndham to keep you happy, or can I just wait and get ready for FedEx? I go, no, you run your offense until you run out of tournaments, and then I'll tell you whether you're on the team or not. I want you to win the FedEx Cup. That's the best way to get on the team, is to keep doing what you're doing that got you close. And I've told that to a couple guys, and they played well. So recently, so hopefully those guys keep doing it. They've got 2 more weeks, so
I like that. Run your offense.
Points can't really change a whole lot. Our stats guys tell me there's not a whole lot of volatility left, but you can impress the captains even if you don't make it into the top 6 or the top 12, right?
With nice gifts and nice play.
Yeah. Bribery goes a long way in this world. Is there anyone on the team you feel comfortable enough calling, telling them they didn't get on the team as a prank, but then being like, kidding, gotcha, you're on the squad?
That is wrong.
They could handle that moment. That's what Tony Finau did that to Boyd a while back. I think it wasn't the President's Cup. It was incredible. Was there anybody on the squad you feel okay doing that with?
Yeah, there's a couple guys.
Maybe do that. Maybe do that and record it.
There's 2. I keep texting this group, and one of them keeps shooting back. So we're on the team.
You can share with us who that is.
Say,
I'll share.
New phone. Who it is?
I'll share with you later. It's easy. It's one of the top 12.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
Got it.
2 of the top 12.
Maybe record that.
If we took the top 12, we've been saying this for weeks and weeks, months. If we took the top 12 right now, we're pretty solid. So
your 12th guy is Cameron Young. Yeah,
Cam Young's your 12th.
You're fine.
He's a good 12 man, good anchor.
He's 12 in points. He might not be 12 in our rankings.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know what? Back to picks. We're getting off your 9, but you might go outside the top 12 because we've got, like, I just see 3 or 4 pairings already. They're just laying there for us. But then you might have one guy that doesn't have a guy, and the guy that's the best partner for him might be 14th rather than 11th, So we do a lot with our stats guys on matchups and who plays alternate shot better than best ball, and who hits on the odds and who hits on the evens. And so if a guy's looking for a partner and he might not be in the top 12, we might have to go outside of it. But right now I like the 12 as we're sitting.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
All right, Sleaze, was that your 8 or you got one?
I got one last one.
Okay.
I got one more. Because I'm going to give you the chance to set the record straight here, Davis. Because back in '84, when Michael Jordan swiped your driver from your bag and broke it, he's claimed all along that this was a setup, and you guys set him up with a driver that was going to break. Do you want to clear that up right now on the record?
That is not true, because that was my gamer, and I did have a decent backup, but not a great one. So people that never played with wood, they would get a crack in them, and we'd re-whip them with the black whipping stuff. I had that thing whipped as far down as I could. It had a crack in it. It was going. If you don't hit it in the middle of the face, it's more tendency to crack, and he hit it right in the heel and it broke. But he set me up, though. I got a summer of '85. A friend of my dad's gave me a Roger Cleveland driver that Roger had made for him, and I used that driver from the summer of '85 until 1997. So
oh my God.
The replacement driver made me a lot of money, won a lot of tournaments.
So once again,
done you a favor.
MJ did a great thing. That's what he does.
Yeah,
you owe him. You owe him big time.
No matter what he does, it comes out great.
All right, last one, and this doesn't work as well since you don't hate Duke as much as I thought you did, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Okay, you're going to get like a Mike Tyson face tat. Okay, you get to choose whether it's the Duke Blue Devil logo or the Shark Greg Norman logo. Which one are you going to go with?
Duke.
Take some time. Take some time and think about it, Davis. Don't commit. Right.
We were at a tournament. I don't know which one it was recently, and the volunteers were wearing the shark logo.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And one of the volunteers says to me, I bet we don't have these next year.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, DL3, it's been awesome, my man. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for all you're doing right now. I love how much you're speaking out about this, and best of luck at the President's Cup. We'll see you in Charlotte.
Yeah, thank you guys. You give us a platform, and these are fun. I really enjoyed doing it. I've been looking forward to it for a while. We'll have a recap at the end of the season.
Sounds great.
Done.
Holding you
All
to
right.
it.
Done.
Thanks, Davis.
Go get him,
Thanks,
Cap.
guys.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was Davis Love III joining us on Golf Subpar. The man has been very outspoken. He does not like LIV. He does not like what Greg Norman's trying to do. I mean, this is basically ripping apart Davis Love III's President's Cup, more so Trevor Immelman's. But it is, it's not been good.
Both of these guys have had to deal with stuff that I don't think they ever envisioned getting into it. Davis Love is in an unfortunate situation where A, the squad's already loaded. B, it hasn't been pillaged as much as Trevor Immelman. I mean, Trevor Immelman, like right now, probably doesn't know what's going to happen, and he's got to have contingency plans. It's going to be really interesting to see where he goes. But yeah, the good news is that build out at Charlotte appears to be huge. The fans are going to show up. It's going to be good. But Davis Love, I'd rather be him right now than Trevor Immelman because he's going to have to, scratch something together with all these guys that have already left or are reported to be leaving.
There's going to be some Carolina blue in the uniforms. I imagine MJ himself will be there.
Gotta be.
I know he loves these team events. But just to show you how he thinks about Greg Norman, he'd rather have a Duke tattoo on his face than the shark logo.
That says something, doesn't it? I gotta think that's about the worst thing in the world as a diehard Carolina guy to have a little Duke tattoo.
But I like this side of Davis Love. We know him as just, the constant gentleman, one of the, best representations of the PGA Tour. Here he is. He's being very outspoken. I like it.
Well, he's defending his ground. I mean, that's what you expect. But like the LIV guys are going to do whatever they want to, whatever they can do to make that tour the best. PGA Tour guys are going to do the same thing. He's been about as devout as a PGA Tour guy as you could possibly find. But yeah, for a long time, he's like consummate gentleman of the game, all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, he's got his fangs out and he's going a bit. So yeah, props to him. He's doing exactly what you would expect a guy that's been a lifelong member of the PGA Tour to do.
Yep, a lot of fun talking with Davis Love III. All right, well, now it's time to get to some gambling with our guys over at FanDuel. The golf season is over, and if you followed our picks all year and you put $100 on each pick, you netted a very, very small profit. But hey, the good news is we both were in the positive.
Turning a profit in gambling, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's a profitable business. Now we get to go
Might afford you
football
one cocktail
for a
if they're in
minute
the
where we
Hamptons.
really, really thrive.
This is where we know our shit. It is time to get to some football. And FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day when college football kicks off this week. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets, guaranteed for week one. Just place a $5 bet, and you can get $150 in free bets, win or lose, all kinds of stuff. We got a couple of big games. We got Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame. Are they playing?
Ohio State.
Oh, and Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
Also,
about
huge spreads on those
Yeah.
games, being that they're the biggest games. They're still monster
2 versus
spreads.
5, 18-point spread. Here we go. Notre Dame, your school, top five in the country.
My school's
getting 18
coming
points.
up. My school's coming up.
All right, so lots to get to. If you're thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. And by the way, FanDuel is now live in Kansas starting September 1st. All you Kansas people, all you Jayhawks, Wildcats, it's time to get amongst it. And you can now bet with FanDuel in Kansas. All right, Sleaze, let's get to it. We're going to give you our favorite football bet of the week.
This should be good.
This should be really good.
This is where we really make money.
I'm 1-1 to start the season, so
As am I.
Once again.
Hawaii let me down.
all right. Well, would you like to start it off?
You want me to go? I'll take the lead here. I'm going complete homer pick here because every sports fan season, no matter if your team was dog shit last year, you start off optimistic, and that's what I'm doing here. I got my boys from Funky Town, TCU. New coach, by the way. We picked up this guy. We just stole him from our little brother at the end of last year.
We've been
TCU,
your daddy the last couple years.
He's heading to Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. By the way, we're like half my friends from high school ended up going to college. We've been waiting on this game for years and years. It's a little later than I would have liked it, but we're 13.5-point favorites. We sucked ass last year. New coach, new offense, new everything. Still don't know who the quarterback's going to be. 13 and a hook, though. I hope we win by 42 so I can talk shit to all my friends for the next decade because we probably won't have to play them again. But
Winner.
I'm going straight homer pick. TCU minus 13.5.
Win or lose, I can't wait to see y'all's TikTok afterwards. It's going to be really cute.
Oh, there'll be something hot from the locker room. Who do the ponies play?
I have no idea.
Is your field?
Our field was
looks
underwater
like
last week, so I don't know.
17 at Sawgrass.
I don't know. I was more focused on how I can make money, and this one I think is going to be a lock.
Ooh,
Okay.
You going lock?
I'm going with a team that is trying to make a big first impression. New coach, new quarterback, going to come out slinging. They think they're probably going to be one of the best teams in the country, and they probably will be at some point. They're huge huge favorites to Rice, 33.5 points. But they got head coach Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams in at quarterback. I'm going they're going to roll on like a Trojan. USC Trojans minus 33.5.
Wrap them up like a Trojan.
That's right.
I mean? That's the saying over there, I think.
So here we go. Can't wait to see. I mean, it's a
Airtight.
huge spread, but I just think first game, Lincoln Riley wants to come out and just be like, I'm here. I'm not messing around.
Wrap them up, Trojans. They'll be airtight. Guaranteed.
Right. And once again, welcome Kansas to FanDuel. Can't wait to get amongst it with you guys.
Yes.
And the app is so easy to use. There's always hooking you up with great odds. And when you win, you get paid fast. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app today and sign up with promo code SUBPAR and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. Once again, that's promo code SUBPAR. Must be 21 years old and present in select states only. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. or 1-800-NEXT-STEP, or text NEXT STEP to 53342, Arizona 188-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut 1-800-9-WITH-IT. In Indiana, visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, or 1-877-770/STOP in LA, or in Louisiana, and 1-877-8-HOPE-NY, or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline, 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee, or 1-800-522-4700 in West Virginia, or in Wyoming, or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia. Got all that?
That's it. And if you're in Kansas, don't worry about anything. Just start sending it.
My God.
Welcome to the party, Kansas. The water is warm.
They like to get
Good time
amongst
to bet
it in Kansas.
against your football team if you're a Jayhawk, and then wait till a couple months. Then you just fire on your basketball team every time.
You just got to survive football.
Yeah, you just short them every single time, make a bunch, then you got a bankroll to play with come basketball.
Well, we got a lot of great guests coming up, but that's going to do it for us this week. We'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.